with Stitch Duran inside the Mayweather Boxing Club. Stitch, horrible news yesterday in the world of MMA as we learned about the passing of one of the legends and pioneers of MMA, Kevin Randleman. I guess you never worked with him personally, but I know you're around him a lot and worked some shows. So what were your thoughts about this guy?
Well, I knew him more, not in the ring. I've worked on the same cards as him and all that, but as an individual outside of the ring with his wife Elizabeth and their side of the family. And it's a tremendous guy, man. I mean, just a tremendous guy. And when my daughter Carla texted me that he had passed away, obviously first thing I did is I did some research, and it just kind of bummed me out, man, for the longest time. Yeah, it's the death that went around the world in the MMA industry only because of the character that he was. But it's funny because we're in Tokyo and we're on the bus going back, and some of the old veterans are talking about the old times in Tokyo and Bas Rutten and Kevin Randleman and Severin and all these crazy guys, and the stories that they had about him. That he was as crazy in the ring as he was outside of the ring, but as a character, he was second to none.
As far as a fighter goes, this is a guy that battled a lot of adversity, where he had that nasty staph infection, that kind of thing. What, had he been healthy the whole time, maybe trained a little differently, what do you think his potential might have been? Well,
he definitely made it to the top.
He did great.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, no doubt. He definitely made it to the top of the world, but as a wrestler, he was feared by many. And as a striking guy, he definitely would go out there. But just his presence alone, and you're telling me about the story about the Gatorade where he got yours instead of his, and you probably let him drink it. That he was that kind of guy where you respected him as a person, not only by his character but by the way he looked. And could you make a comic hero out of him? Yeah, you probably could.
For people that only know him for his fights and not outside of the cage or the ring, you touched on it a little bit. What was he like as a guy? I mean, everybody's speaking so glowingly about him. How did you know him?
Well, I knew him more outside of the ring than I did in the ring. With his family and my family and all that. And he was just, he loved his wife, no doubt about it. They were really a team that really loved each other. But then to have the love that he had for his kids and all that was his whole life. And that was the Kevin Randleman that I know, and that's the one that will always stay in my heart.
And just finally, in this day and age when everybody talks about fighters ducking other fighters, I think it's pretty hard to say that anyone else has a better resume than this guy.
Yeah, he has a great resume, and I was reading a nice little tribute that Randy Couture wrote on him, and being gallant with each other and being in the trenches with each other. And, these fighters know what it's like. And, Kevin Kelly once said years ago in an interview that when fighters fight, their souls touch. And I think, Kevin Randleman definitely not only touched the souls of all these fighters he fought, but all the guys that knew him, and guys that didn't know him. And I think, for the MMA industry and just for the combat sports, it's a big, big loss.
All right, man, appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thanks.